What you never want to do is get emotional with a woman. See, I was having a conversation with a woman I was vibing with the other day. This was a couple of weeks back. And we were talking, we was conversating on just, you know, relationship dynamics. And yeah, it was just that. You know what I mean? It was one of those where it was in and out, in and out, in and out. And then we get to talking about life and ish like that. So what you never want to do is get emotional with a woman. You know what I mean? We were talking and we was just, it started off her talking with her past relationships and things like that, because it was kind of known that it was that vibe. You know what I mean? I wasn't taking her serious or nothing like that. We was just vibing. And she wanted her spots here and I got her spots right. In and out, in and out. And yeah, we just start talking. And overall, that was the vibe. You know, we were just conversating and things like that. Now, fast forward, she's talking about how her ex was and how they was always arguing. And she started to talk on how he was emotional and things in that nature. And he got emotional with her at a point. And I said, you could never really get emotional with a woman. I stated that thought of mine and that fact, the truth, that you could never be emotional with a woman. And she followed up and said, no, you actually can. I actually like when a guy is emotional, and I don't really see anything wrong with it. And it just, she said, it brings me closer to the guy. This is the propaganda that I try to tell you, that they're gonna throw out manipulation tactics. They're gonna throw out lies. That is the opposite of their nature. That is the opposite of their nature. So, okay, the conversation is still going on. And, I'm on game for real, so I'm not really listening to her BS. Like, long story short, just a couple minutes later in the conversation, she said they got into an argument and then followed up and said she clowned him for getting emotional with her. And I proceeded to say, you cannot get emotional with a woman. I just said that. And he gets in his feelings with you, and as soon as y'all get into an argument, you use it against him. See, I say this to say, a lot of times we get to a point with our woman and shorty where we're really close. We get to a point where we really feeling good, and we feel like we could trust the woman as far as with our emotional feelings. And the thing is, you can't really do that. It is something in a woman's brain that is wired. When you get emotional with her and she sees that, unless it's situational, like you lose someone or just something, situational, but just to be break down crying in front of your woman all the time, you don't want to do that, because it is something wired in a woman's brain. When you cry around her or she sees she can activate your emotions, that you are weak. That's why you seeing a lot of times when us as guys are going through certain problems in the world and things in that nature, a lot of women kind of get a kick out of that. So let alone if you in a woman facing you crying, something she possibly tried to do on purpose. Maybe a woman did an action just to see how you was gonna react, and you start crying, dog, you lose. You lose. Or I know a lot of times we get comfortable to the point where we, trust a woman. Dog, at the end of the day, we be wanting people to trust. Us kings, we want people to trust. We want someone, that we could lie it all on. But the thing is, dog, you can't lie it on somebody. You can't lie all your problems and, what you going through all the time on somebody. Get a life coach. Watch content like this. Get a therapist. But putting all that on your woman You don't want to do that because it is something wired in her brain to think you are weak. So it is something wired in her brain to think you are not firm. Now it is situational. Like I said, if you lose somebody, you going through devastating life moments where, it's just, in the category of losing somebody or just things like that, then that's situational. But to just have a moment to where, you could have held that off somewhere else and not did that in front of her, you don't really want to do that because it's something, she just gonna lose respect for you. She just gonna not be able to see you in the same light. Why you think these women love a mysterious guy? A mysterious guy that she don't really know much about. Why you think when she get comfortable with you, she start to lose interest in you? It's because it's things that the woman has wired in her brain. It's things that women nature in her hypergamous ways is just, you can't take it out of her. And dog, if you cry in front of the hypergamous woman, you can't really take it out of her that she's gonna view you as weak. You can't change that. You can't change that the sexual dynamic may change after that point. You can't change that you're not perfect and you have emotions too. But what you have to understand, you can't cry in front of everyone. You gotta hold it down to a point where you can cry and let your emotions out somewhere else. Because a lot of people get a kick out of seeing certain emotions out of you and getting emotions out of you. A lot of people, you can't really do that around, dog. And your woman, you just want to keep it P around her. You just want to keep it play around her. Because it don't really go well in the end. It don't. I remember like one of the times I was younger and I was getting frustrated that the woman wasn't being a part of my program. Like she wasn't holding down her side of the program, and it was making me frustrated, and I was discussing that with her, and dog, the roles were reversed. This was when I was a part of the propaganda like a motherfucker, and we can't be a part of the propaganda. Dog, I'm talking to her and I'm like, why you keep doing this? Why you keep doing that? You know what I mean? It was, bro, I'm gonna tell y'all, this what it is exactly was. I was in high school. Now, she was a little older. She was going to prom, and I said, you know what? I don't want you going to prom with someone else because, I can't go with you. Dog, that bop, that 304, she went with somebody else. She said she was going with somebody else. And the thing was, I was frustrated because, dog, here I am being the guy trying to look out for her. I got her out of this restaurant, and she tell me this news while I'm about to buy the food. While I took her out and done something I ain't really do for her like that. So she told me that, like, I ended up going with a different guy to prom. Overall, when I set down the principle of you're not doing that just because I can't go with you, I should have knew right then and there that she's throwing that out there in front of my face. She's throwing it out there that she wants to go with another guy. Should have never cuffed her up. Should have paid attention to that sign and dismissed her right away. See, but when you were part of the propaganda, you hold off on red flags. You hold off on the truth. You hold off on things you really need to do. So when she told me that, like, yo, yeah, I'm gonna go to prom with the guy and things like that, I flipped, not like screaming, because I'm not really the type to take it there and scream, but you could tell I was speaking from an emotional point. I got emotional, not like boo-boo crying, not yet. I didn't cry in that moment right there, but I'm gonna get to it. So, and we got to be aware of this, Kings, because we got to wake up from the propaganda, dog. You gotta know how to control your emotions. So, and you gotta stand firm on what your principles are. So we are leaving a restaurant, and I'm like livid. I'm like, at a point where I'm just talking to her like why you can't just get the principles. I'm saying why you can't get the principles. Why would you, do this as far as just, I said I don't want to see you go with somebody else. And dog, she said it was because I was too short. She said it was because I was too short. That's really what it was. See, a woman would like certain things about you, and you would be you could be the it factor for it. But if it's something, something that she don't like, she could hold that against you. Try to hold it against you. Dog, I don't give no F's about my height. I'm 5'7". Dog, I'm a man on this purpose, dog. I've been cut my insecurities out. See, but the in the moment I was saying, yo, you still haven't accepted me for my height. I said, so you gonna try to go to prom with somebody when I told you I'm not okay with that. So I said, yo, you just don't get it. Just talking. Whole time, dog, she just sitting there. She not really saying nothing. Coming from a point of not really caring. See, a lot of times, during the propaganda, when I was just a part of the propaganda, a lot of times a woman would see that and they would try to make you leave them, because you not woke for real. You not in your frame for real, because you are still in the point of, okay, even though this person not on the principles I set, the program I set, I'm trying to justify why they not. Dog, you got to get it moving. Now, I did end up ending a relationship. I didn't sit in that relationship. Not at all. I ended it. I dismissed it. But I sat on it for a little bit. Not too much longer after that. I dismissed it. But the thing was, I did too much discussion. I damn near started crying when I was talking to her. I damn near started crying. I was about to start crying like a little bitch. Because the woman I liked, the woman I viewed so beautiful, the woman that just was apparently I thought was my woman. It's my turn. I'm supposed to dig her out, in and out, till she call. And, be about my purpose. You know what I mean? And try to recreate with different women. Like, that's we really get knocked off of the truth. You know what I mean? If you believe in, one woman, then there ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? If you believe in multiple women in your life, ain't nothing wrong with that either. But the thing is, we supposed to reproduce and be on our purpose. That is the main focus. That is the drive of us as men. And I said the story to just tell you guys and relate to you guys, dog, you get to a point where you're comfortable, and I felt comfortable with her. And a woman will always have a side of them that is detached from you, and is detached from, just looking at you as a manly man. And what can you do for her? What life is she gonna have with you? See, we get so attached and be so lovey-dovey. Dog, you shouldn't be in love with a woman. You can love a woman, but you shouldn't be in love. You shouldn't be all in a state of all the time. Like, oh my God, like, oh dog, hold it down. You could love a woman, but hold it down. Don't be in and out. Don't be like that, because you would get pushed over. She would clown you to her friends about how you got so emotional with her the other night because she mad at you. So you got to realize it's certain things you just can't do as men. Yes, you are a human, but just find the times where it's right to break down. And like I said, it's situations, like laws or, things in that nature and category where, you're human. You know what I mean? But as far as life things, you got to really hold it down, though. You got to really stand firm and just understand certain things about the woman. You got to understand her hypergamous ways. You know what I mean? Later after that, dog, that ish woke me up. You know what I mean? It woke me up. See, at that time I already patched up my insecurities and things like that. So I wasn't insecure, no nothing. But I was still a part of the propaganda of not receiving the truth on a lot because I was aware. See, I knew to have a program. I knew I had my format down as far as with these women and somewhat of my life. I ain't have the whole format down with life yet because this was when I was still in high school and we're always learning. Stay woke on that, King. But the thing was, I knew to have the program down as a king, but I didn't know as a king that I can't be discussing why you not doing right towards the program. Why can't you just do, dog? It's none of that. You're dismissed if you're not gonna make the cut. If you're not following up with the practices that schedule, for this basketball team or the soccer team, hockey team, or whatever, then you're cut. Yeah, so stay firm on your beliefs. Stay firm on your purpose. Stay firm on your standards. And stay firm with these females, these women. And don't get knocked off by being too comfortable to where you feel like you could be, emotional with a shorty. Dog, call a homie. Really, you should really spend time with yourself and, and get your moments out. But if you got to, call a homie. If you got a homie, if you don't got a homie, invest into a therapist, invest into a life coach, or just cry on your own, dog. The best moments come from self-realization. So you gotta understand you can't be in your feelings with these shorties. You can't. You can't. You can't. You will lose. You will get clowned on. You will get stepped on. You will get walked on. You don't see, these people, that may be like a celebrity or just someone you see on the internet. You see that they so in love. And then when things go south, the woman is just bringing out stuff about that man that the world didn't know about to embarrass him. And I ain't saying us as men, we don't do it either. But I'm just saying, for example, on the topic, you don't see examples like that. You don't think these women get a kick out of that type stuff? See, know the game about women and apply yourself and live the truth. Not just know the truth, live the truth. And you'll be all right, homie. Like, comment, subscribe. Instagram down in the bio, in the description. I'ma holler at y'all in another one.